Hey Sagittarius, how you feeling? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome back. If you're not, if you've been rocking with me, thank you. All right, Sagittarius, if you are new, this is your highest good tarot, and everything we talk about here is for your highest good. So you were divinely led here, and we are so glad to have you. We are always talking about elevation, evolution, growth, and it seems like Sagittarius that you we like this. We feeling each other's energy. If you are ready to do the work, or whether you already been putting in the work and you need confirmation, you need some signs and synchronicities, well, you've been divinely led here. So go ahead, do that Sagittarius ritual that you do so well on the YouTubes. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Today, Sagittarius, we are talking about, that, ooh, that's nice reading. So we're going to get into what you've been working on, what your come up is, any potential blockages, and advice, as well as a final message from Spirit. So let's get into it. What is it that Sagittarius has been working on to improve their life? Keep in mind, Sagittarius, that this message is not for every Sagittarius, and that is okay. What is it that Sagittarius has been working on to improve their life, Spirit? Take everything as it resonates, y'all. And Sagittarius, if you would like a pre-recorded personal reading with me, there is a link in the description box that lets you know how to get that. What came out here is the Devil. We have the Nine of Cups. And we have the Hierophant. Interesting, because there are two majors out here. And you trying to change everything on purpose. At the bottom of the deck here, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The change that you've been putting in, Sagittarius, you've been waiting, but it seems long off, long far off. It seems, that it's not even going to happen. It seems hidden to you. But that isn't the case at all. We have the Devil and the Nine of Cups and the Hierophant. And what I'm getting is that it's like, you're trying to get to this space, this Nine of Cups, where its wishes fulfilled. Because of course, these are two these are on two different sides of the spectrum. We got the Devil that is like, you know, enticing, addiction, being trapped, being chained to some shit. And then we have the Hierophant, which is all about tradition, laws, mores of society, all the things. And it's like you have um trapped yourself, Sagittarius. What you've been trying to do is get yourself out of um, a way of thinking that gets you everything that you want, but you have been going about it in a traditional route. That's what you've been locked into. That's what you've been locked into. Whether it was you who put yourself in this position that change yourself down, or whether somebody else put those thoughts into you and you just had that mindset, because a lot of times, like this guy here, we're taught certain things from childhood. And so because we're taught that from childhood, we believe it's true. Let's please clarify the devil here. Ooh, thing flew right on up. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's like you're trapped emotionally to this idea, but at the same time, it's the the way to go about it, the way you've been taught, is draining. It's like you're working harder, not smarter. And you're in your mind like, there has to be an easier way to do this. It has to be. Like, I'm meant to do something else. I'm meant to have everything I want. And I did everything right. I did what I was supposed to do, but now it's like you're working on coming out of that. Yeah. So what is Sagittarius's come up here? What's the come up for Sagittarius? Spirit, what's the come up for Sagittarius? Glow up. There's a literal glow up for a lot of you. Glow up. Self-improvement, finding your confidence, personal transformation, better than ever. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Because you can get lost. What else for Sagittarius with their come up? You can get lost in those things where you think you're not doing something right because you were taught that way. Kind of like, for example, I was taught that I need to go to college to get an education, go work for somebody, and most of us were. And stay there for 20, 30 years and then retire. In the meantime, in between time, you get married, you have your 2.5 children with a dog, a house with a picket fence. And it's not for everybody. College ain't for everybody, you know? Brand new, brand spanking new. Okay. So you got to glow up. You coming out of that traditional sense, that traditional way of thinking, and you're having these fresh beginnings. You're reinventing yourself. That's going to bring about new ventures. And it says, "Watch me shine," and we're gonna be right there to see it too. What else for Sagittarius? Removing those thoughts and behaviors that no longer serve you. Thank you, Spirit. That is exactly what Spirit just said. That is what you're doing. What else for Sagittarius? I'm trying to tell you. It says clickbait. Clickbait. Misleading headlines, empty promises, exaggerated truths, not what it seemed. That's what you're realizing. You're realizing because this is actually clarifying the Hierophant. That's what you're realizing. It in a way, whatever you were taught, even if it was before internet, you're taught that it's clickbait. Things aren't what it seems. It is misleading. That isn't necessarily your path. There's more than one way to bake a cake. There's more than one way to barbecue some ribs, you know? So why is it that you have to follow this way to be successful, to get your wishes? It's not. It's you woke the fuck up and you're like, I'm not clicking on that shit anymore. I'm not doing that. And at the bottom of the deck, because you decided to do things differently, let me show you what's at the bottom of the deck. Money moves, Sagittarius, smart decisions, strategic investments, building wealth, making my money work. I love it, Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. Let me get this deck up. So, what are the potential blockages for Sagittarius? Potential blockages for Sagittarius. What are the potential blockages? Two of Pentacles. Not prioritizing the things that need to be put first. Also, losing balance within period. And at the bottom of the deck here we have the Hangman. So also it's not paying attention to those things that's going on around you, or the people who are around you, and maybe talking too much about the things you want for yourself. And you know, a common theme my friend and I were talking about that's going on here lately is, you know, moving in silence and making sure that you're paying attention, because you do have a new perspective. And a lot of times people uh, will project their fears, whether you know they love you or don't love you. They'll project their fears or their dislikes upon you. So this is all about balancing, receiving that criticism that is constructive versus critical, you know. And some things you weren't meant to internalize. And then there's other things, other Sagittarius, you know, which y'all are, who may be doing too much, trying to multitask as opposed to starting something, completing that, and then getting on something else. You know what I mean? So making sure that first task is done to completion the way you want it to be done. And for many of you, this could mean that you're starting a business. So having that work-life balance, harmonizing your responsibilities. Yeah. What is the advice? And then we'll get into the final message for you guys. What is the advice here? So we have the Eight of Pentacles, Judgment, Three of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, there's the Ace of Cups again. It's come out two times, just in case you forgot, Sagittarius. Just in case you forgot. Remember that time? So make sure you're pouring into yourself. Rest and respite is what I'm hearing. Because abundance is going to be in overflow, but you got to rest up to be able to enjoy it and to receive it. For those of you who are, well, all of you are on a spiritual journey, make sure you understand, because spirit is pointing out spirituality, that your spirituality is not separate from your business or your career path, because many of you, all of you hopefully, are being divinely guided and you're intuitively led to do things. So make sure that you're doing and paying attention to those nudges and being grateful for the things that you receive, the lessons as and the blessings. And you show it because they're not separate. The abundance and prosperity that you're receiving through your job is not separate from your spirituality. Um, again, let's go back to the spread though. We have the Eight of Pentacles, Judgment, the Three of Swords. You know, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. Not everything is for you. And although you may aspire to do and have certain things, not everything is for you in that time either. You may want to collaborate with somebody and it just may not be the time for that. There may be a project or a creative idea that you want to get into, but it may not be the time for that. So you have to make sure that you're prioritizing and making a judgment call, but also leaning into the divine to check in to see like, is this for my highest good right now? Is this collaboration or this project something I could take on now? Because this also means having to say no to yourself. It's not just those folks that's outside. And be more focused on progress than perfectionism. Because a perfectionist will never release that project. They will never turn it over. It will never be ready for the public if it's something that's meant for the public. It's because it'll never be done. It'll never be perfect. So although you may be honing in and perfecting a craft, you know, be careful of letting perfectionism get into the way of progress and growth and being seen. All right. Final message here for Sagittarius. Good job, Sagittarius. Coming outside of the box, the societal box. Okay. Can we? That's like 5,000 cards. Let's try that again. Final message for Sagittarius, please. Yeah. Good job on coming out of that. Payback. The big payback. Payback. Consequences returning. Karma cycle. What goes around comes around. Time to settle accounts. This is not random for many of you because y'all gonna know exactly what this means. Somebody has misled you or wronged you on purpose to get you off track because they don't want to see you succeed. And I feel like you may know about it, but don't let that bother you or worry you or consume you with getting them back, getting your lit back and stuff. And for a lot of you, this payback means that you'll actually be able to pay back some things that you owe. And because you're changing how you move, you've actually changed your thoughts and how you move throughout the world. It's going to get you to a place, this new way of thinking in life, where you can actually come up out of debt. because you remember this is the devil and the Hierophant came out talking about like some real life changes beyond the mundane. This is some real shadow work for y'all. I love it. Is there anything else, Spirit? Spirit said no. And when you said all you know, it's time to go Sagittarius. All right, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if this resonates, definitely leave a comment and let us know. You never know who might need to hear this, and it may inspire them as well. See y'all next time. Bye.